Right, thank you for clicking on this video, and today we will be talking about testosterone, and also not only its formula, structure, how it's produced and synthesized, what its effects are and how these effects are occurred. And yeah, so basically if you think that that's really interesting, then make sure to stick around to the very end, as I'll also be talking about how to increase it, which you might want to know about. You probably do want to know about. It's very interesting, and it's also beneficial for you in terms of health. So yeah, also before we dive right in, please make sure to like and subscribe, because I do a lot of content similar to this, and I will do a lot of more content similar to this. So if this is your cup of tea, then yeah, subscribe, like it, uh, yeah. So if you're interested in this, yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. So yeah, advert finished. Let's start with the video. So testosterone is a andro androsteroid, which is a type of steroid. So you see the bodybuilders that inject themselves with stuff. Sometimes they inject themselves with testosterone, but yeah, it's a type of steroid. Uh, it has a ketone group and a hydroxyl group, as I will get onto in the structure, and it has saturation between carbons 4 and 5. I think you can see that there. So yeah. Right, let's go on to the formula of testosterone. So we've got C19 carbon, H12 hydrogen, and O2 oxygen. Pretty standard formula. It's got the carbon, it's organic, it's biology, who cares? Right, so the structure, this is where it gets interesting. So you've got this structure here, you've got the oxygen, you've got the meth, it's like CH3, so you've got methane, stuff like that. You've got more H, you've got the carbons, and then you've got the hydroxyl groups. So yeah, that's a very interesting little formula. But let's get on to how it is produced and synthesized. In this, I will be mainly talking about how it's produced in the testes, as that is where the majority of it is produced. If you're a male, if you are a female, or men and females, it's produced in the uh, adrenal glands. So yeah, if you're a woman, then it's going to either be produced in your adrenal glands and your ovaries, but for males, it's mainly produced in the testes, and yeah, males have more testosterone. Testosterone is mainly produced in the testes. Let's begin. So it all starts in the brain, where the hypothalamus releases the gonadotropin releasing hormone, or also known as GnRH. And then this GnRH is released every like 60 to 90 minutes in big pulses, which goes to the pituitary gland, as you can see here. And this releases the luteinizing hormone, also known as LH. This is actually involved in the um, female, like, I forgot what it was called for a second. This is really embarrassing because in the menstrual cycle, yes, the menstrual cycle, the luteinizing hormone is also involved in the menstrual cycle, but it's different for men as it is for women. So, but it's kind of related in terms of like sex organs. But right, okay, so it goes into the bloodstream because all hormones, if you're in the endocrine system, then hormones travel through the bloodstream. So that's just how hormones work. So yeah, it goes to the bloodstream before it binds to the Leydig cells, which are in the testes. So this is where the fun begins. So buckle in, because this is difficult, and I might get a little bit lost, so do forgive me. Right, so you've got cholesterol. You've probably heard of cholesterol as a bad thing, but as we get into how to actually increase your testosterone, you'll probably find out that cholesterol isn't as bad as you originally thought, or it's not. It's got benefits. It's still quite bad, but it's got benefits if you have it in moderation. So we'll get onto this a bit later, so make sure to stick around to the very end. So you've got cholesterol, and that is converted via cholesterol desmolase into pregnenolone. So this is where it divulges into two separate pathways, and I will talk about both pathways. But I'll talk about the progesterone pathway first, because it's easier to pronounce. So you've got 3-beta HSD converts the pregnenolone into progesterone, and then you've got the 17 alpha hydrolase, which converts this progesterone into 17 hydroxyprogesterone. And then, after you've got the 17 hydroxyprogesterone, this is then converted using 1720 lyase into androstenedione, which is then converted using 17 beta HSD into testosterone. So yeah, that's how testosterone is produced from that pathway here. Now let's move on to the second pathway, where pregnenolone is converted into 17 hydroxypregnenolone using 17 alpha hydroxylase. And then this 17 hydroxylpregnenolone is converted into DHEA via 1720 lyase. So you've got the same kind of molecules in both cycle pathways, but it's just different orders. And they all end up in the same thing, so it doesn't really matter anyway. And then you've got the DHEA converted into androstenedione. Sorry if I'm pronouncing any of these things wrong. That's via 17 beta HSD, and then the androstenedione is converted into testosterone via 3 beta HSD. So those are the two ways of getting testosterone. And now, slightly before we move on to the effects, let's get on to how it's actually binding to these organs to produce these effects. So, this testosterone goes into the bloodstream. As all hormone, testosterone is a hormone. So as we mentioned before, the endocrine system, testosterone moves via the bloodstream. So, on muscle, liver, and adipose fat tissue, testosterone binds directly to the androgen receptors. So nothing needs to happen to testosterone for it to bind, it just binds. So, and then in skin, hair, and the prostate gland, testosterone has to be converted to dihydrotestosterone, also known as DHT. You've probably heard of DHT if you're balding, or you've heard of balding, because DHT, as it says here with hair, DHT can make you go bald. But yeah, that's how testosterone binds to the skin, hair, and prostate gland. It has to be converted to DHT via 5-alpha reductase. So yeah, before it can have its effects. So then, in the brain and the bone, testosterone needs to be converted into estradiol by aromatization, where the estradiol then goes to the estrogen receptors in the brain, and then testosterone can have its effects on the brain. So, with all of that out of the way, I have run out of room on the whiteboard, so I will now move on to what the effects of testosterone are, specifically on the muscles, but also on the whole body in general, and also how to increase it. So stay tuned. Right, so welcome back, and now we will talk about the effect of testosterone on muscle growth as well as its other effects on the body. I mean, I could go into depth on all of the effects on the body in as much detail as I will on the muscles, but this video would end up being hours and hours long. So I've limited it to just muscles, but if you guys would like to see how these things are actually done, then I would love to make a video on that. So please comment and if that's what you would like, because if that's what you like, then that's what I will do. So let's dive right in. Okay, so with its effects on muscle growth, we've got the little molecules here, we've got the testosterone hormone, and as mentioned before, it binds directly to the muscles. So when it binds to those androgen receptors in the muscles, the testosterone goes to the nucleus of the muscles, and it asks the nucleus to transcript more of these DNA, because inside the nucleus you've got inside the chromosomes, and the chromosomes are made of the coiled DNA. So you've got the DNA, and then these code for specific amino acids and specific genes and specific characteristics and proteins. So what the testosterone does is it asks the nucleus to create more of the proteins which are involved in the muscles. And if you do want to watch my video on what muscles are, how they work, and how they grow, then this is mentioned, but very briefly. So if you want to go back and watch that, then this might make a little bit more sense because it talks about the structure of the muscles and all that kind of stuff. But you don't have to. I just think it's a pretty cool video. And if you're from that video and you're watching this one as well, then thank you for sticking around. So yeah, you got the increase in the protein production because of the testosterone, and this is called an anabolic process. So if you're into fitness and you're into like the bodybuilding and stuff, you've probably heard of anabolics, like anabolic steroids, like anabolic diet probably. So yeah, you got the increase in protein production, and also as part of the helping of the muscles, we've got inhibits the breakdown of proteins, which is called a catabolic process. So that is how testosterone is used in the body to increase muscle growth. And stick around if you like muscle growth, because I will talk about how to increase testosterone in the next part. So the other effects of testosterone are increased bone density. As we said before, the testosterone has to be converted to the estradiol before it can attach to the bones. Fat distribution. Fat distribution was the same as the muscle cells in terms of the testosterone just attaching straight on. Increased red blood cell production. And red blood cell production is important because it carries the oxygen, so you can have more respiration. And if you know about ATP, and you got the mitochondria, and they produce more ATP, so you've just got more energy. And I'll get onto this slightly later on as well. You've got the increased libido, so that's like your sex drive and stuff like that. Increased mood, so that's what's doing it with your brain, similar to how it's attaching to the bone, as mentioned prior. Increased metabolic health, so that's a little picture of a mitochondria, so you've got more energy, you've got more reactions going on in your body, which is a good thing, because it means you've got more energy, it means you've got more power, you can do more stuff with your muscles, you can do more stuff with everything. And fertility, so you've got an increased production of sperm, which is good if you ever want to have children and you want those children to be healthy and happy. So sorry if I rushed through that a little bit. As I said before, please do comment if you want more on any of these. I'm happy to do a video on any of them. So yeah, I will now move on to how to increase testosterone. So stick around for this final part. I thought I could fit it all on one whiteboard, but I cannot. So I will see you in a second. Right, so this is what you've all been waiting for, the finale to this amazing video. This is probably going to be my longest video so far. I'm reckoning it's going to be about 12 plus 4, let's say another 4. I reckon this video is going to be about 20 minutes. That's crazy. So well done if you've stayed all the way to the end, because this has been a long one, as I just said. So how to increase testosterone. The main reason for some of you clicking on this video probably. Let's dive right in. This won't be talking about like the specific details, because as I said about the effects, if I jumped into the reason for all of them, then this video would be hours and hours and hours long, and I know some of you would like that, but I don't have time for that, sadly. But I will do if you guys want me to. If you guys comment saying, how does this do this, or how does this do that, I will be happy to make a video on it, because this is very interesting and I'm only barely scratching the surface. I will obviously talk about a little bit of stuff, plus peripheral knowledge that I know just anyway. So let's dive right in. Exercise, specifically compound lift. So compound lifts are like your squats, your bench press, and your deadlift. So those are the exercises that work multiple muscles. They're lifting very, very heavy weight. And yeah, that's going to increase your testosterone. Also, like high intensity activity. So I would not recommend jogging or running, because that's going to increase your testosterone, and that's going to kill, and that's going to increase your cortisol. Sorry, that's going to increase your cortisol, and that's going to kill your testosterone dead in the water. Because, as I will mention in a second, cortisol is terrible for you. Yeah, so healthy diet. Healthy diet is probably one of the best ways to increase your testosterone, as well as sleep, which I'll get onto a second. So what is a healthy diet? Different people say many different things, but in terms of testosterone production, a healthy diet is healthy fats, so you've got that cholesterol. Don't stuff up on cholesterol, but eat your eggs, drink your milk, all that kind of stuff. That's going to be good for your cholesterol. So healthy fats, lean protein, whole grains, fruits and vegetables. That's where you're getting your vitamins. That's where you're getting your all that kind of stuff. Your vitamins, your nutrients. Those are actually going to build your testosterone and help with all those organs and stuff that make it. Zinc, oysters, beef, and beans. That's what has zinc. Zinc is very important. You can also supplement zinc as well. That's probably going to be slightly easier, but you know, you can supplement a lot of stuff. So that's what to do. Let's talk about what not to do. Right, okay, so avoid refined carbohydrates such as sugar. Do not eat excessive sugar. I do not eat sugar. Maybe, I mean, I do eat a little bit of sugar. I just, maybe like once a fortnight, I'll have an ice cream or something like that. But yeah, I, yeah. Seed oils. Seed oils. I will make a video on seed oils. Seed oils are probably the worst thing you could do to your health and not realize that it's bad. All junk food is seed oils. All ultra processed food is seed oils. I could talk for hours about seed oils, and I probably will talk about hours about seed oils. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, seed oils, that's going to increase your fat stores, bad fat stores. It's not going to do your cholesterol, which is going to increase your testosterone. It's going to create your fat stores. And inside fat cells is estrogen, and estrogen is going to kill your testosterone. And that's bad. That's not what you want, is it? So avoid seed oils, ultra processed food, and excessive alcohol. If you do want to watch my video on alcohol consumption, then please do. It talks about what alcohol is and why it's bad for you. So yeah, alcohol also decreases your testosterone. So that's just another reason not to drink it. As well as smoking. Smoking, I mean, it's not really part of your diet, but I just thought I'd include it there anyway. It's just going to harm your organs that make it. You probably, if you're in England, you've probably seen on the packets what it does to your body, and it's horrible. So just don't do it anyway, even if you weren't worried about testosterone. I mean, some people say that it has nicotine. Nicotine increases your testosterone, but it's like the cons literally outweigh the benefits. So if you were that bothered about nicotine increasing your testosterone, then find another way that's not pumping carcinogens into all your organs. Okay, it's not that difficult. So sleep well. All the most of your testosterone is produced in your sleep, so make sure you get a full, also 8 hours or more a night. It depends on the person, but most people need 7 to 9 hours a night. So avoid those late nights, and this, because in sleep is a lot of things, and it kind of related to this, is reducing stress. I don't know whether you can see that, but cortisol, as I said earlier, cortisol is going to kill your testosterone. And yeah, when you're stressed, you're not going to be producing your testosterone. And when you're stressed, you're not going to be happy. So just reduce your stress, however that may be. And yeah, so thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. This has been, I'm guessing, looking at the time now and doing a little bit of maths in my head, this video is going to be about 23 minutes. So if you've watched all 23 minutes, I give you a massive thank you. And hopefully you can give me a massive thank you by liking, subscribing, and commenting on this video, because if you've watched 23 minutes, you might as well, you know? Right, so thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. I have just done a little bit of mental maths and realised that this video will end up being about 17 minutes, not 23, but I still thank you anyway, and yeah. This is just a little side note, like an editor's note. I'm my own editor. Right, bye bye.